Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to install my double gauge pods for the A-pillar on your Subaru Sambar. I had them previously installed already in the black, but I've been changing over my interior pieces to a blue color that I like. Just thought I might as well. So I'm going to install a blue one today. When you get your kit, they will come with your gauge pod as well as a little baggie that has a few things in it. You have your bolts to bolt your gauge pod up to where your grab handle would normally be on your A-pillar. And then you have some door seal clips that will go in the door seal right here to hold your wire loom up against the door seal to keep it nice and neat. And then you have a zip tie. We're going to use a zip tie for right in here. We're going to put the wiring harness right through there, zip tie it in place so it's nice and tight. That way there's no wire strain on the gauge pod or the gauges themselves when they're in there. And then the wire will just route right through this hole right here. And then you'll receive 3 of the wire clips. So you put one right here and here about just evenly spaced throughout. And then you'll get this wire sheathing, which is like an expandable nylon wire sheathing. Expands quite a bit. But you can put all your wires through this and then just hold them up against here. And that way it will look like just one bundle of wire black against your black seal to keep a clean look. So that's what I'm going to show you today. I already have mine wired up because I had to do some figuring out when I was wiring it up, and I didn't have time to make a video while I was doing that. But today I'm going to show you how to install them and kind of how the wire routing goes. So let's get started. As you can see, the wiring comes down into your dash, and it comes behind this little tab right here in your dash, and then down onto the inside where you're going to wire it up. To get the wiring loom down there, you may have to loosen up your dash if you have connectors like this that are just a little too big to get through this hole. Then you're going to have to loosen up your dash to be able to do that. To do that, you're going to take off this 10 millimeter bolt right here. There's a 10 millimeter bolt under here, and there's a 10 millimeter bolt in the middle of the dash on top, underneath one of these covers as well. To take off this cover, I use a little pick, and I just kind of get it under the front lip of the piece, and then you can kind of push it underneath there and then pop it up, and it'll come right out. That's the easiest way I've found to not really damage it, to just try to get it in there finally to where you get it up, and then you can kind of push it in and pop it out. But yeah, then you can take out that 10 millimeter bolt, this 10 millimeter bolt over here, this 10 millimeter bolt right here, loosen the dash up, put your wiring through that hole, push your dash back in, and tighten these bolts back up. So that part's not too bad. To get your wiring through your wiring loom, what I like to do is bundle all the wires for each gauge together. So like I'd bundle these wires together, and I would bundle these wires together. So imagine these are your gauge pod wires. I just got a bundle of 3 right here. You want to get the ends together so that they're nice and close to each other. Bundle all of the gauges, or all of one gauge together, and then just wrap it tightly with some electrical tape to bundle the end. That way when it's on the underside of your dash, you know that this bundle is for one gauge and the other bundle is for the other gauge. So it keeps it a little bit more organized, and you can figure out your wiring a little easier. So with this wiring sheathing, like I said, it's expandable, so it expands quite a bit to be able to get your wires through there. So what you're going to want to do with your taped off end is just push it into your wiring sheathing. You can get it in there as far as you can get it. I mean, this is going right through, But if it starts to get stuck, like the end's right here, you can push all of this piece together, expand it, and then just pull it all through. Push it, expand it, pull it all through. Expand, pull. So it's not too hard. Just do it till you get to the end and you have your wiring through there. And then just repeat that with your other wiring for each gauge. And then once you're all done, you can kind of pull it tight, and that will shrink up the sleeving around it so that it kind of holds all your bundle nice and tight together and keeps it nice and clean. So that's the wire sheathing and the routing into the dash. Now I'm going to show you how to install the seal clips as well as your pod. So let's do that. When installing the pods, first I like to put the zip tie in there. So you're just going to stick it down in that hole and pull it back around so that you have it looped in there. It's going to sit up on your pillar like that, and your wires are going to come in through this hole right here. So like I said, I added a little bit extra wire. You can see that it's looped around a little bit for wire strain inside the gauge pod itself. So basically just going to stick the wires down in there. And then try to pull this, the sheathing tight over your wires. And then get your zip tie around that. And then zip it up so that it's nice and tight. And then snip off the end so you don't have a bunch hanging out there. And then I like to push it back just a little just so it's not sticking out at all. And then you got your wires in your gauge pod. So it's gonna mount up like this. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get it bolted up, and then I'll get the wiring, the wire sheathing, or the wire clips in place as well. So first I'll bolt it up. Get that one started. That one started as well. And the wiring is coming through this little hole on the bottom. You might want to hold it in place while you just tighten it up, just so that you make sure it stays in that little hole. You can get them pretty snug. Doesn't need any kind of, or doesn't have any forces on it, so you don't need to be that snug. You know, it's nice and tight, just a little snugness on there. And then I can pull these through and get them connected to my gauges. This is a GPS speedometer. That's what this coax cable is right here. Get that connected up. It's upside down, I think. There it goes. This is another reason to leave extra wire. This way you can kind of pull your gauges out without having to take the gauge off the pillar if needed. Pop that guy into place. And then this is my tachometer. I moved it from my left instrument cluster spot into up here. So just get that connected. Line it up, push it into place. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, and next you'll want to install your clips for your wiring. for that, you can actually just pull this door seal straight off. There's no adhesive or anything in there, so nothing to worry about. It's just held on with friction. The shorter hole or shorter slot in this is going to go into your door seal, and then the rounded part's going to go around your wiring loom. So just kind of stick it right on there and push it down. And then you can do the same for each one of these. I like to get it like right about here where this little hole is, this little dot. That holds it in a nice place there. And then split the difference in the middle. And push it on nice and tight. Now your wires are held nicely and tight against your door seal. So since my gauges were already wired in, now that they're installed, they should be working well. The wiring is nice and tight against the door seal, so if I turn it into accessory mode, the gauges light up. So looks like it's working well. Got some new cool gauges. We are all finished, have our double gauge pods installed onto the A-pillar. Looks nice and tight, nice and neat. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like my content, and also check out the double gauge pods at my Shopify store in the link below if you want to get yourself a set of these. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later.